Hi everyone and welcome back. This is what I'm going to use. It is a paper packs from Prima Marketing called Love Stories. I was gifted this paper pack, so I am very spoiled. I've got the 12 by 12, the A4 size and the 8 by 8. Now let me show you what you do get in this paper pack. 6 different designs and you get 4 sheets each. I did take it apart so it's easier for me to show you what it is, what it looks like. On the front here, that is, let's start there, that is everything you do get in this paper pack. Okay, so we can come to this a street map, and I've got the word Paris on there, and on the other side we do have the pink foil. This is my favorite page, and I just want to show you, let me just grab it, the beautiful the pink foil is, the foiling on. I hope my camera will pick it up. And on the opposite is feathers, beautiful. Then you get 4 of this design. The opposite, beautiful flowers, roses. And we do have this and marble on this side. This is also very pretty. Try to get it all off the glue at the top there, the little birdies, and the opposite very nice and soft. And then this is the last design. This is what you can cut out, and the flowers on the side as well, very beautiful. Now the other packs, the A4 size, you do get exactly the same, but you don't get the foil. There's no foil in this, and there's also no foiling in your 8 by 8 pack. The other paper that I'm going to use, it is for my pages. This is 250 GSM. I do like it, and even with the pattern paper that is a cardstock, I just think it makes your book so much more durable. And I've got my pages already. This is the album. I cover it already. It is the chipboard, and in a previous video tutorial I do have from start to finish how I do my covers of my chipboard for my mini albums. Now this is 8 by 8 and my spine is 3 by 8. And let's start with our first page. I'm just going to get this all ready, and then I can show you what the first page are going to look like. First I'm going to get my paper that I'm going to cover my album. That will be the front, the spine, and the back. I'm going to use the pack, the A4 size, and I will show you. I think I'm going to use this one. Why I'm choosing the A4, because it fits perfectly on my front or back. I just need to trim it and just trim a little bit so there is no waste of any paper. When I do make these mini albums, I try to use all the paper. I try to minimize waste, because I've got a stash of offcuts that, yes, I don't think we're going to go there. It is massive, and now I'm just trying to work it, but it's going to take a long time. That's why from now on, when I do my mini albums, I'm going to use everything, and I will design it so that I don't have a lot of wastage. So I decided to have this one for my front. That is the opposite side. I'm not 100% sure exactly what I'm going to do with the spine and the back, but this one I will put aside because I know I've got a lot of paper, but you never know, I might cut into it, because when I start with the album I get so excited, and then I cut into my paper that I want to use for the front page or the front of the album. So this one is going to go aside with my album. Now the pages, let me give you the measurements for the pages. It is 8 1/4 by 7 3/4. Your 8 1/4, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Let me show you how I do cut my paper. That also eliminates a lot of wastage. So this is an A4 size. I take my A4 size, and I know this side, the width is perfect. It's exactly what I want, and that is 8 1/4. But that we need to cut 7 3/4. Make my mark, and I cut that off. And that piece that's at the top there, that you do cut off, that is it. Don't throw that away. It will be used in the album, and there's no waste. That's why I do like to use the A size for my pages. I hardly waste any of that. And we do have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we've got 5. Oh, sorry. We've got 5 pages. It's very early in the morning, and I decided to start the video because they're still building, and they make such a noise during the day. And I thought early in the morning, and I can get some work done. And let's get our pattern paper. I've cut my first pattern paper for my page, so all the base page, all pattern papers are going to be 7 1/2 by 7 1/2. And when you do put that onto your page, you've got a little bit of a black border showing around, and that's what we need. So we're going to work with this. We will put that aside. We will work on this. And this, we will, when we're done, we'll put this on top of that. And that goes into the book. That is how I work. It is, if I want to make flaps or fold outs or whatever, I can do it on the back. Put it on the back and it's neat and you don't see it. We're going to do our first fold out with a flap. Let me get that together and I can show you. So the first flap is going to be 4.5, and you're going to score at the half to have a flap that's going to come out like that. When you do have pattern paper and there's like on this one different designs, I want this design because there's quite a lot of foil on here, that this side of my paper I want to use with this. This is going to be a tricky with this paper pack because there's so many beautiful designs on one sheet that if you do have it, just put a thought in it before you cut it, and then make sure when you cut it that's what you're going to like, or that is what you wanted to have. And we will have the flap that coming over like that. And let me do the other one as well. So this is the other one. The first flap that's going to go at the top is 4.5, and we score at the half inch. And this one is also 4.5, and we score at the half inch. And this is coming on this bottom side. And that's what we're going to have, and that one at the top. But we're not done yet. Let's get the paper that we're going to put on both of these. Well, I've got it all ready, so let me show you what I've done. For the top flap, I use this pattern paper, and it is the same as the foil there. The bottom one, I use the opposite of that, and that will come at the bottom. The top flap, 4.5, and you score at the half. The bottom one, 4.5, and you score at the half. And it's exactly the same width as your base page. That's going to go in there. On that flap, on this flap, I create this one. And it measures exactly the same as your paper. That is 7.5. Score at the half. And the width of that is 3 3/4, and that comes onto this pattern paper. And we've got this offcut that was at the top of our base page, and that's gonna go there. At the bottom page, the bottom flap, I made this one 7.5 by 2.5, score at the half, and this is gonna come in here, and it will be a pocket. And then we just need to get paper for this, but we will get that as we go, and there is some offcuts we can use. And the same with this and that on the back of our flip outs. Let me glue this all together and you will get a better idea what it looks like. So that I've got glue on my flap for the bottom, and all I do, I use glue, and because when we put it in the book we can do score tape at the back, but if you want to use score tape you can do that, it's not a problem. So, and if you got a very good glue, you just use it. It saves you on your score tape. And that's our flap. And just burnish it very well. That's the bottom one. And we can glue this on. I use this tacky glue. I don't think my art glitter glue is going to work yet. We do get better days now. It's not that cold. It's actually beautiful. I'm not ready for the summer. Yes, I'm not a summer girl. It's too hot. Okay, I just need to, and we can put that on. And burnish. If you move, just correct it. I moved a bit. And that's it. So that's how I glue. And I'm going to do the top. I've done all mine. And they came out very nice. Let me show you what I've done. That was the top flap. And we still need to get the pattern paper for that. Okay, and then it goes over and we need to get our pattern for that. This comes this way, and our pocket. Now the pocket, I decided not to have a flap at the back because it is just too thick, so I just glue it on top of the page, and I made two of these. That was the offcut from that side, and they are 4 by 4, and they're gonna go in this way, and they are a stopper or closer for the top page. And we are done with the front of the first page. So I'm just gonna grab my first page. I'm gonna turn it, and then we're gonna work on this side. Let me get all the papers for that. Let me show you what I've done with the next page. That is the base page. I had to trim this in bits so that I can get that picture out, and this is fine. We can use that. That goes into my scrap pile, and then I've got two flaps on both sides that meet in the middle. Now this is a bit tricky, but not that bad. If you measure your page and get your page in the middle, then you should have a 1/2 inch for your flap, and that's going to 4 1/4. 4¼ on both sides, and then you will have your flap. Okay, that meets in the middle. Pattern paper for this is what I'm going to use. That is in the page, the packet, the pattern paper, the A4 size, and I'm gonna try and get that on. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna try and get this on. I might use the bottom part, and it goes up to, unfortunately, no, I'm gonna cut her off, and I don't want to cut her off. And if I use her, this is what you're gonna, and then I'll cut this off here. This is what you're gonna have to do with your pattern papers, and make sure that you've got your designs. It's very important, because this is what I would like to have on this page. It is the smaller design as of that one. I'm going to trim this down, and I'll come back and I'll show you. I've got my page on, my pattern paper on, and it came out very nice. I had to trim quite a few times just to get it nice and on. Now, closure, that is the next step. I cut 2 strips of 1½ inches in the width, and I just eyeball the length. So this is 5 3/4, and this one is 4½, and I did 2 score lines, because you need to have it a little bit higher, because when you put your photos in, you need that extra space. And on the scoreboard, what I normally do, if I score on the 3, I just go 1 notch on and score the next one. That's all that you need. And it works very well. And then just burnish on your score lines. So I'm gonna glue that on there with a magnet, and then this side with a magnet, and that's gonna be my closure. And then I will put some pattern paper on it. And let's just do this one. I just need to get rid of my pencil mark. And when you glue, oops, let me grab it. When you glue up to your first score line, and when you do put it in, you also go onto that first score line. I know my camera is a bit on an angle, and see if you can get it in the middle. And let's see, I'm a little bit off the middle. Just want to move it up on. That's better. To my score line. That's better. And then we can finish. I like to put score tape on my magnets. When I do the magnets, it's so much easier. Okay, we're going to put one there. Now I don't put mine very close to the edge because these magnets are very strong. Okay, I think that is the right position. Drop that one. All I'm gonna do is to make a mark. Okay. And that's my magnets. I will come back with the pattern paper. And the other side of our book is done. It is just the inside that needs to get pattern paper, and I think I am going to look for it and see what I can find, and I can show you. So I've done this page. Now let me show you what I did. I went into another page of the A4 size, and I cut 2 pieces in the hearts. It is similar to the background. I want it to be soft, and there's a heart as well. So I want it to be soft, and I've mounted them on there. Just make sure you've got a little bit of a black border show. That's all we need. And I use the same for the back of the closure on both sides. And I went into the scraps, and I got a piece of scrap there that I cut off from this one. That's the heart, and that came out the A4 size book as well, and I just cut it to fit. It had this all around it, and I just cut it off. So this page is complete, and we can put that in our book. Now I do have this completed as well. So that was that one. Okay, let me show you. I've put paper on this one. That comes off from there. And come back, and I covered that part there as well. That was all from the offcuts of the pages. And this one there, it is done, plus the pocket. So if I bring that flap over, and we put these ones in the pocket to close, and we're ready to put this on our page. But I'm just gonna hold it like this for now, because our pages are not in the book yet. We have to do that first. But this first set for that page is done, and I can put that all together, and then after we've done everything, we can put it all in. On to our next page. Pattern paper ready? Okay, 7.5 by 7.5. What we're gonna do, a big pocket again, and it is just gonna fold over. Let me give you the measurements for the pocket. And in the length you need to have 9 inches, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more than 1/2 inch. I got on this one side 3/4, and I've got a 1/2 inch on the other side. As long, all that I did is, why I'm so off with the measurements, is I've just put it around and see that it's a nice fit. Doesn't matter if it's a 1/2 inch or a little bit less or a little bit more. So that's that side, and then this side we're gonna have to go for 5.5 inches, and we're gonna score a 1/2 inch. The length here, we need that 5 inches, and then we will cut the corners on the score line to the corner and on the score line, and then this one as well to the score lines and corner. So, and we are wrapping this around. That's all that you need to see that you're gonna fit nicely. Pattern paper for this, so I went into the A4 size and I did cut exactly the same pattern, and it's just on a smaller scale, and that is gonna be what you need to put on. It is 7.5, and the width of your pattern paper is 5. I am going to do a notch, so I'm just going to bring this up, nest it in, make sure it's from side to side, and it's to the edge there, and hopefully we're going to go for the middle. So I'm going to use my grid lines and see 1 2 3 4 5, 2 3 4 5, no, way out. 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, that is better. Okay, hold it and punch. Then when we bring this back, we've got our notch there. It's just nice to, you can see that it is a pocket. Now before we do the pattern paper, let's put our pocket on. Let's turn it around and let's glue it up, and we put it in and just finish it. And this one, just remember we will put score tape on top of this when we put it in the book. Oh, I'm hanging a little bit over here. I'm just gonna trim it. Oops, that's better. Now before we're going to put our pattern paper on, come on camera, focus. Before we do that, we've got these 2 little flaps. Now they measure 4 inches and score at a 1/2 inch, and this should be 5 inches. We're having 2 of them, and we're gonna glue it on this side and the other one on the other side, and there should be a gap in the middle. Okay, you should have a gap in the middle, and let's just do that. I've got mine all glued up. Make sure that I even down. And that's it, straight. I can see I'm a little bit over here, and I'm just will trim it. And finish. Oh, some more glue coming out. Let's do the other one. And line it up. Oh, my measurement was a little bit out here, or I didn't cut correctly. I will trim this one down as well. This one is more out than what the other one was. Okay, I'm just gonna wait till the glue is dry so I can trim that. And finish. Okay, let me just trim mine so I can have it. It's so uneven. Okay, I've put my score tape on as well after I trim it down, and we're gonna go and release the middle one, and I also fill this in with glue. It's probably an overkill, but you know, it is a pocket. We are going to put quite a lot of things in there, so you don't want it to fall apart. And these ones are just going to take it over like that. And this one here. And we can put this on. It's going to be tricky, but that's okay. We can do it the best as we can. I'm just gonna do a little bit of glue. I don't like that, but I am going, just to give me a little bit of space that I can move it if I have to. Put that down. Put that down, and we can take the last one off. And we can burnish on the side. We are going to do a closure. We will do a closure here, and let me grab that and I can show you. And I'm going to get the pattern papers for this flaps. I do have a lot of offcuts that I can dig in and have a look. This is my pile, and let's see, there's definitely what I can use. Let me get it all ready and I can show you. Let me show you. I found some pattern paper to put on that side and on this side. Then the front and on this side as well. This is all the offcuts that I had. This is a sentiment that I've just it's nice and big, that I picked from the pack, and I just put it on black cardstock. Now if you want to have the same size, I can give you the measurements. It is 3 by 4, and it fits beautiful on here. All that you need to know and be careful with is when you glue this part, where you put it on this side of the paper, pick something beautiful pattern here, because you're not going to put a photo here, you can't put anything. This is just plain decorative. You're going to use this side and the inside, but not on this side, because we've got this here. If you want to use a different closure, that is okay, you can do that. And then I just make a mark, and then I just glue that part on. And now we're going to do the magnets. I've put the one side on already. I picked my spot. Just make sure, well, I have to make sure that I'm not to the edge. These magnets are very strong. I don't want that to tear the paper. I tape the one side, and I put a little bit of tape on the negative or positive side, and I just lift this with my poker tool, the backing, and we can just bring that over, press that down, hold it a bit, and open. Then over here we can put, I do have a lot of trims that I can put on this side to cover my magnet. Now we're gonna put this side on, and I'm just gonna glue it, and then we can close, and this page will be finished. Just want to bring this over that I can see I'm in line. I'm in line, yes, and press it down, finish. Just be careful when you go over your magnet that you don't damage your paper. Even spaces of black all around. Check the pocket. Nice and big. Yes. And I'm just going to leave that for now. So this page is done. Did my pattern paper already, and we are making a belly band, but this is a big belly band. Okay, I've got this 5.5, and my length, it is 8.5. And the 5.5 goes that way, goes onto the paper. We need that little bit to do our folds, and make sure I'm in the middle. I'm gonna pinch it, and I will lift this, and I'm just gonna bend my paper. If you want to measure and put it on your scoreboard, that's fine. If you are confident doing that, it's okay. Now this should be nice and tight. It's in there, and make sure it stays there. And we're gonna do the same with this side. I'm just bending the paper, and done. Burnished it down so we can get that nice crisp line there. And we can glue this down as well. We will get our pattern paper. So I do got the offcut of that piece. This one has got wood, so it's going that way. I just need to check how the words are going. Okay, so what I decided I want to do is I want to make a pocket on here, and I hope it's going to work out. I've never done a big belly band like this. Okay, score this at 1/2 inch. And let me see if this will work. And this piece is 5.5. So I will trim this down to 5. And then it's going to be the width of our paper. So let's do this. This is going to be my score line for that side. Let's score that. And you can cut off the excess. Then let's get to, what did I say? This is going to be 5. And we make a mark. So probably that's where we're going to score as well. Get the scoring board. And what it looks like. It's on the 5 mark. And this is our scoring line. Okay, so I'm just going to do some trimming. Let me get my trimmer out. And this is just a little bit. I don't need a lot. And I just want to tidy that in. I think I cut too much off. No, but that will be fine. That will be enough. So I'm going to cut to the corners. To the corners. And that is our pocket. I just need to make sure it's this way. It's gonna fit nicely. It will fit very nice. So you can put a photo on here. You're gonna have a folder in there with photos and photos on the side. Now I just need to get my score tape and put some score tape on here. I can feel that point was turning. That's better. And let's do our score tape, and then we can put this on and get some nice pattern paper to put on here. Okay, I do have my paper for this, my pattern papers for this, and I went into my A4 size and I found the one that's got the feathers at the back. I want to use the feathers, but they blend in too much with the side here, and when I turn it around, that looks much better. Now you don't need to put your paper up to down here, because where your pocket is, so you can save some paper and just put it in like that, and make sure that it is in quite about up to there. Then you should be okay. So I am going to glue that and just slide it in, and I'm just going to push that so I'm even space all around, and we will burnish. And I think that looks nice. Now for this one, this is the other bottom part of the paper. I just want to show you, if you don't have a punch that's got a notch, you can use a round punch. I don't know what this is. This is 2 inches. You just use a little bit of it. Now let me show you. I can do it with, I hope I'm gonna get it in. I should have done it before because this is thick. All right, I hope, yes I will. So with these punches, you do have the middle mark, and you do have the middle mark. So it's hard for me to see that one, so I just went with my pencil over it, and then I did bring my pencil in here. So if I have to turn it upside down, I still have my middle mark there. And yeah, just to make it easier, I'm gonna pinch this, and I do have the middle. Yes, I can get it in. I can get in, and it's also now very, very much eyeballing, because I don't know how deep I am. And let's just hope for the best. Come out, and there is your notch with your punch, and it looks good. I should have put it a little bit in deeper, but it is, she still shows, and it looks very nice. I'm happy with that. And this is just with any round punch that you've got, you can use that, you can try that. And I'm going to glue this nice, and the sides. That is good. I'm just going to put this aside so it all can get dry. So this is the page that we are working, the last one of the last pages. Now I was very generous, and you'll see what I mean. I've got a full a magnetic closure, and this folds out. I still need to glue that on, but I just want to show you. I went into the A4 pack, and I use where you can cut these sentiments out as a page. I just did that to make it a little bit interesting, because there's so many of black writing that I thought that would look nice. Then it goes open this way. That one needs to go in there. That one needs to go in there. Alright, and then we have it this way. Alright, that's the first page. The sentiment, the other sentiment, I kept that solid. And then the main page. This looks interesting. It is interesting. I will show you what the measurements is, and then of course it's a closure with a magnet. Let me go into the measurements for you. For our magnet, you need a piece of card at 6 inches, and I think I've got it at 3 inches. I normally make it at 3. Yes, 3 inches in the width and 6 inches in the length. Then you can decide how long do you want this to come over. I thought, you know, it's just a little bit more than the middle of the page, because you can put something nice on here. It gives you enough space to do that. So mine, where I did my first score line, was on at 6 inches, so on the 5.5 inches. Then I went to 5.25, and I made another score line. You need to have, when you put photos here, it's going to be coming up, and you need to have space for it. That's why it is a little bit more space there. Okay, let's get into our fold out. It's long. All right, you have to join. Unfortunately, you have to join. There is no other way of getting around. My first page is 6.5, and I've got a score mark on the 6.5. My next page is 7.5, and I've got my score on the 7.5. And then my last one is 7.5, and I got my score at 7.5, and I've got the 1/2 inch flap, so this one needs to be 8. Score at 7.5, so you can have your flap underneath your pattern paper. I can show you. There it is, underneath the pattern paper. And you can see here where I joined my paper. It's unfortunately, if you don't want it this long, if you just want 2, make sure that all 2's exactly the same size, and then you don't have to join. But this is so much more space for your photos. And let me just get into this one and glue this one down. Then you can let it fold like a corsetina, or you can let it just fold. Now the first page is shorter, it's a 1/2 inch shorter than the other pages. That is just so you can see in the front. I'll show you. You can have it all the same, but this one here a 6.5. Let me show you. When that comes, it's on the end, and then you've got that to show a bit. It just shows a little bit more interest in it. You can have it all there, but it's very bulky, so that's why I just got a 1/2 inch off, and it's fold. And let me glue these ones in. So I've finished my page, so let me show you what it is, what I've done. I've put pattern paper on that side where my magnet is. This is just from the sentiments. I just cut it to size because it's a little bit, it was a little bit bigger, and it had patterns all around it, so I just cut it smaller so that can fit on my closure. And this is all, oops, this is all done. Let me bring it back, and this side, it is all done. We sorry, we can put this now in our book or on our page, and the page is ready for the book. Score tape, we will do score tape. This one is 3/8 of an inch, I think. Yes, 3/8 of an inch, and this is what I like. If you've got a 1/2 inch, you can use that as well. This is what I prefer to put my score tape on my pages, this width or 1/2 inch. Now you're gonna have to do it on the edge because we don't want the edge to lift. You can cut it if you've got scissors to the edge there, or you can use your tools that you got to do that, to do the cutting of your score tape. And we do all around, and then up to that one, just all 4 sides, and then you can do a few in the middle. I can show you. And or you can do one in the middle. I like to take it across, and that is it. Finish, and that part there, this part we can fill in with glue, and I bet you your page will stay. It's not gonna go nowhere. And that's how I do my pages. Let me just bring the pages over. So that one is coming in here. Now this is all the pages that we've done. So this is our album, and there are 2 ways of doing it. You can put your pages on top of your album page, and then you can put it in, or you can put that aside and put your album pages in first and then put that on. That is normally what I do. If I do it the other way, I put a little bit more pressure on me to have it very straight. This way I can maneuver my page, and I can concentrate better to have my page on here. And what I've done, this is a 1/2 inch. This is a 3-inch. 5 pages fits in a 3-inch at 1/2 inch. I hope my calculation is right, because I'm not an inch girl. We do centimeters. I've learned centimeters, and when I was at school we learned a little bit of inches, and then it was all centimeters. So this is what I did. I placed that, and to make sure that this first page there is enough space where my score line is, because that's where we need to stay away, is that score line. I'm going to put score tape on all my flaps of my pages, and I will start putting them in, and I'll show you. I've draw these lines to help me, so when I've got that, if your first one is in and straight, the rest should be follow just that one. But I just had to make sure I could get 5 in, and that's why I've got my lines. I might not follow it, but if you put it in and you make sure that you straight there and straight at the bottom, and all your other pages should be the same. I'm going to do mine and I will show you. This is the next page. Base page I cut down to size 7.5 by 7.5, and I made a big pocket. The measurements for that sorry, the measurements for the big pocket is 8.5, score at the half and score at the half. In the width it is 7.5, and we're going to score at the half. I do have a flap. The flap is going to come on top of the pocket page, and it is 7.5, score at the half, and the width is 6 3/4. You put your pattern paper on. I do have a magnet for the closure. To put this on our page, on our decorative page, we need to cut off this little square. You see there is a square, and that's what we need to cut off to have a nice mitre corner. No, not a mitre corner, just a straight corner. And I just cut it in like that, because when you close, you do get a nice corner. And let's do this one on the score line. That's where we're gonna cut, and on that score line. It's just also to eliminate some bulk, because there's quite a lot going on, and that you can throw away. We're gonna grab our decorative page, and I like to turn it so I can see where my score lines are, and I know I'll be fine. We're gonna glue this down the flaps. This, I'm just gonna wait for this to dry. We are ready to go on to our next one. This was really nice and simple, but we need some pockets. We definitely need some nice big pockets. So that is the one side of our page, and let's go to this side.